How's it going? This is Paige Van Zandt, my future wife. Unfortunately, her and her current husband are gonna get a divorce. I'm gonna marry her. Definitely just kidding. Don't wish that. I don't wish that for anybody. Blessings to her and her husband, future children. So, today is my father. Happy birthday, Dad. I love my father, man. Happy birthday to my father. Let me send him a video. So 2022, of course. It's getting wild out here. And the book that we're currently reading is it's called Mind Programming, written by a man named Eldon Taylor. And he includes before the preface, a quote from The Ethics of Confucius, edited by Miles Menander Dawson. And it reads, "If acts of goodness be not accumulated, they are not sufficient to give their finish to one's name. If acts of evil be not accumulated, they are not sufficient to destroy one's life. The inferior man thinks that small acts of goodness are of no benefit and does not do them, and small deeds of evil do not harm and does not abstain from them." Deep stuff, guys. "Hence his wickedness becomes great till it cannot be covered, and his guilt becomes great till it cannot be pardoned." So this actually isn't the quote that I thought it was going to be, but I guess I remember the quote wrong. Yeah, so my memory of the quote isn't as accurate as I thought it was. But what he's saying here is yesterday I was riding around on it's technically registered as a motorcycle, if you really want to be technical about it. However, it is a 50cc motorcycle, which is also technically considered a moped. Or if you play Grand Theft Auto Vice City, or even the current one, they refer to it as a faggio. I think that's Italian, maybe. But this dude threw gum out of his sunroof. It was like a hook shot in basketball, how the old timers like to play a little bit. And it almost landed. It came within, close enough distance for me to turn my head and notice it out of the side of my eye, because technically he was behind me to the left, just slightly. And I looked at him and he looked at me. It was an old dude that I think had jet black hair, which clearly meant he was dyeing his hair. Reminds me of my old boxing trainer, Jimmy Ralston. Dude, he used to have the most jet black hair at 65 years old. We were like, dude, come on, bro. But so I don't know. I had my helmet with the visor down so he couldn't see my eyes, but he looked at me, I looked at him. I think he shrugged his shoulders and I shook my head and I kind of waved my finger back and forth like tisk tisk, young man, because that's how he was acting basically. And I know it's just bubble gum, and technically it's potentially environmentally disposable, like the environment will take care of it, which, hate it or love it, guys, eventually the environment's going to take care of everything, whether that's a total wipeout of all living, quote unquote, the majority of living creatures that we know to this day, and just microorganisms will survive via fucking tsunami, you know what I mean, across the entire fucking globe, via an ice age across the entire globe, via the fucking sun burning us the fuck down, via a meteor crashing into us. You know, the environment will figure it out if we're fucking it up too much, for sure. But still, man, it's like, bro, first off, somebody's got to clean that up. Secondly, it might end up on somebody's. It's just inconsiderate is what it is, right? Not a big deal. He shrugged his shoulders. I fucking shook my head at him, and I went about my business. Now, that's exactly the point of the quote. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but ultimately these small acts accumulate into something larger. And this is a principle that is supposed to be just genuinely blatant in your life, right? And you're supposed to do your best to practice this throughout your daily routine every single day. Small acts of good, small tasks that you have to complete every single day that leads you towards a larger goal. For example, if I'm training for an Olympic, if I'm training for the Olympics in a particular sport, and the Olympics is at the end of this year, I have 11 months to prepare. That means every single day I have to do small things that are going to accumulate 11 months down the road to me being the best version of myself on that day that that I participate in the Olympics. No, I'm not going to use that example. Women, for example, their outfits, right? It might only start with a shirt, but then you have to add a pair of pants, and then you add a specific pair of socks that match with a specific pair of shoes, maybe potentially with a specific pair of laces. Then with a different belt, a specific belt, and a specific handbag that goes with that outfit, with a specific hat, and maybe even some specific glasses. All of these small adjustments accumulate into a total picture. A painting would have been a much better example for me, I feel like. You start out with a blank canvas, and you may literally only start with one line on a blank canvas, and it could accumulate into the Mona Lisa, that started with just one brush stroke on a blank canvas. A journey of 1,000 miles begins one step at a time. And so when you're trying to run a marathon, you're not thinking like, oh man, I'm aiming towards the end. No, you're taking it one step at a time, and you're just trying to conquer that present moment. While in the back of your mind, of course, you have that ultimate goal, but you have the overstanding through practice, discipline, and focus and conscious effort towards the idea that you have to put in these small incremental changes in order to get to the end picture. Super important life lesson here, guys. And I think Eldon Taylor is a very brilliant man. Of course, he's flawed. He's a human being. I didn't come across anything too much that I disagreed with from this book, or even some of his interviews that I checked out online. I don't say I would disagree, but, I think there's a conversation to be had with some of his subliminal reprogramming. He actually, with this book, came a CD that is supposed to be positive subliminal programming via specific tones and frequencies that you would listen to I think even in your sleep, he had a program for. And those absolutely in pure form are beneficial to human beings. It's vibration. We are creatures of vibration. That's how I'm communicating with you right now, is through vibration, sound waves, frequencies. So, there's something to be said for that, but I would say be careful and thoroughly research where the origins of these sounds are coming from and these vibrations are created. You got to make sure that it's coming from a trustful source. So we live in 2022. One of the ways that I make money is through independent contracting, delivering food for specific services to customers that require a service expited that require a delivery service. And so I deliver sometimes things like McDonald's to people, or Outback Steakhouse, or what is something maybe, or the Olive Garden, or Red Lobster. I'm trying to think of some restaurants that are across the entire country that everybody could relate to, that TGI Fridays or something. And those restaurants specifically already are based foundationally in an expedited service, fast food. Even the restaurants that I named are, hate it or love it, fast food. It's really not up for debate, because ultimately, even if you go to Olive Garden, the absolute most that it's going to take your entrees to come out is like fucking 40 minutes, and that's like pushing it, right? I think most kitchens, I think that's fair to say, maybe a little bit, 45 minutes if it's like 7 o'clock on a Friday or something, maybe, I don't know. But point being is people want immediate gratification, and that's ruining, it's causing some innovation, but it's largely ruining us as a species, right? As human beings, as men and women, as brothers and sisters, and fathers and daughters, and sons and brother, and cousins, and it's ruining us because my grandmother used to longhand write letters to people. Her sister still to this day sends in the mail a happy birthday card. Now my sister, who is in her mid-30s, also uses the mail service, but people my generation really don't. That's actually ignorant to say, because people are sending out like Amazon packages, of course, and things like that, selling on eBay. But I don't know, man. It's just, back in the day, you like I said, my grandmother used to longhand write letters to people for communication purposes. Now we voice. We don't even get on the phone with somebody to have a response and a communion. We just want to send a walkie-talkie, just send a voice message, right? A voice memo or something. It's just the immediate gratification is ruining a lot of aspects of our life. Communication, being one. But so because people want immediate gratification most of the time, through a lack of attention, I feel like, also, and compassion and consideration. It's giant lack of consideration. People are going throughout their days just largely not being extremely considerate of others. But there's a lot of people, so it's not an easy thing to do these days, guys. There's so many fucking people out here. It's like, But because we want immediate gratification, everything so fast at the touch of a button, we don't have time to be considerate for everybody, right? That's not the world that we live in. We live in the rat race, have to get things done. Monday, I'm clocking in at 6 o'clock in the morning, putting in 10 hours, and then I'm back at it on Tuesday. Let's go. Oh, I'm in traffic to get to work. Hurry up. I got somewhere to be, guys. Honk, honk, honk. It's crazy, guys. It's absolutely absurd. What society has done to us as people. It's messed up. Luckily, it's largely in America and other densely populated city areas, urban or whatever you would consider that. But yeah, it's getting wild out here. So you guys have to realize nothing comes overnight. I was watching a couple videos yesterday about potentially like people wanting to reconstruct their face basically via surgery and medical procedures, as opposed to like just losing some weight or getting in shape, leaning out. They want to like, I don't know, guys. I don't know, man. I should just mention a celebrity right now that I'm thinking of who I seen his face like 6 months ago. He had like this fake plastic surgery or real plastic surgery. I don't know. But chiseled dude, super popular from Disney, guys. Put it together. But that'll be my thumbnail to get people to click on this Disney, because I just said the word. Now I could put that in the title because I said it for 1 second throughout a 17-minute video. Guys, you have to put in the time. You have to put in the work every single day. Nothing's going to come overnight. You're not going to get $1 million in a week. You have to put in the time every single day, just a little bit too, man. You just have to chisel at that sculpture a little bit every single day, and before you know it, you'll have what you were looking for the whole time. I think construction, working like blue collar American construction, is in any aspect of construction: electrician, painter, plumber, air conditioning and heating technician, floor guy, wallpaper install, literal carpenter, drywaller. When you're showing up every single day from, seeing this house be constructed, starting with, maybe the foundation, laying the foundation, concrete, literally having an empty lot with grass that transforms into somebody's home, who they live in, who that a family that shares like life memories that a child will carry with them for the rest of their life, for the next 100+ years. It's crazy stuff, man. If you really were to sit and think about it, it makes the process so much more rewarding. When you think about, like, Legos is another great example of what we're talking about here. And no wonder they're such a successful company. And man, what a cool company, man. I got to do a video on Legos and how brilliant Legos are. Legos have to be the coolest invention of all time. You literally start with one block and the potential is endless. You could create a Star Wars battleship with the proper tools, with the right blocks, man. And you start from nothing, man. You use your imagination to create something. A lot of us fell out of love with manifestation into reality because we're so caught up in other people's, what other people are doing. We're so caught up with who you think is more important than you is doing or something. It's crazy stuff, guys. So small acts of goodness are accumulated into giant deeds of greatness, tiny things every single day, smiling at somebody, just smiling at somebody can change their week, So, all right, guys, happy Monday. Peace.